Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Mike, and I've been full-time in this industry since 2018. And I work with Storyking Studios, a full-service production company here in the city of Bakersfield, California. So what we're doing here today is, if you've noticed, this school looks familiar. Yes, we're back here again. 2 vlogs ago or so, we did a whole day of interviews, and we showed what that looked like. Well, this is some pickup shots for today, some pickup interviews. There were a couple of people who weren't able to make it, so we're here to catch their interviews, and we did about a half day here this day. We usually don't schedule half day shoots for the most part, because when you schedule a half day, you're really not going to schedule any other shoots that day anyway. So we usually try to, book out a full day and charge that rate. But in any case, we already got a full day for them already. So this is some pickup shoot. So we're not about to charge a good client that we have, a good reputation with a full day when they only need a half day. So, we give up our other half of our day. So what we're doing here, as you usually see, we're diffusing the sun. We're not just keeping them in bright sunlight with harsh shadows on their face. We want to cut those down. And at the very same time, we want a decently exposed look. So we're using here a poly silk, which is about -2 stops. We've been toying with the idea of going quarter grid. And then we had a colleague suggest to us using a highlight. And so later on in the video, we start playing with those to see what each of them do to the skin. And, if we would purchase it in a 4x, because we have the other ones in a 8x. And then we also have 12x as well. Also, do you ever have those times, and I'm guessing that you do, where there are times where you're very busy and you're booking out mostly every week. The month is crazy busy and you don't even know what to do with your time, versus other times when you are not busy at all and you have those ebbs and flows in business. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I guess that you do, because most of us do have that. We have the ebbs and flows. We have the hills and the valleys. And so there are times where we're not very busy. And before, we used to just kind of fill that time up with how can we, better serve clients? How can we advertise better? How can we, do this or that better? But recently we were like, you know what? We want to start shooting commercials. So how can we fill our time with shoots? And we didn't want it just to be any shoots. We wanted to be shoots that we kind of envisioned ourselves doing and what we want to do for the future. And that was commercial shoots. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. We're actually in pre-production for a commercial that we're giving away. And now how this happened was we always had plans to do a passion project, and we actually did the pre-production for it and everything. But just getting around to finding the time, finding the location, finding the actors, finding the props, it just became like we don't have time for it right now. And thank God it's been a very busy year for us. So we really haven't found the time for it. So what Josh did was he ended up putting something on Instagram and said, hey, while this post is live, if you comment on it, we will make a commercial for your brand. And in this way, we've obligated ourselves to shoot a commercial. And we get to use their resources in the sense of we'll use your workers as actors and so on and so forth. Now, check this out. And as you'll notice, that combo stand dropped on us. And so, we just wanted to play with the lighting, but we discovered something else. And just take a look here. Did that move?
It did.
Oh, I saw it move. What?
Sure. Whoa.
Did you see that?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm far from it.
I'm gonna.
That was absolutely crazy. And it's all happening simply because we cheaped out on the C stands and the combo stands. We got Flashpoint instead of, name brands. Obviously, Matthews is a good stand to buy. But we thought it would be just fine. And usually they have been. But when we put this 12x on there, which is a little bit heavier, the top stage couldn't handle it and it gave way. Can you imagine if that happened on set? So we were glad that it happened here, so we know what we can do. But now we're planning to switch at least the combo stands out, because that happened. So what we're doing here is we're actually running tests on the different types of diffusion that we have. We have this silk that drops it down the light about 2 stops. And then we have this other silk on the 8x that came with the frame, which, I think it's just some China stuff. And I don't mean like a China silk. I mean like something that they produced in China and it's not really anything industry grade. So as we're playing with it, this does look good. The roll off is real nice on his skin, but it takes the light down so much. You can see his background. Now that it's exposed for his skin, the background's too bright. So we're trying to play with what can we do on set and in camera so that we don't have to mess with it in post. Because sure, you could create a mask and bring down the back, or as Film by Hendrix put out a video recently, how he put that baby in a Resolve and just kind of took care of it on the skin of the talent, which was a great idea. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but it's much easier to do, and Resolve is so much better at tracking than Premiere Pro. So anyway, but we're trying to get it right here in camera. And so now what we're doing is we've put up the highlight. This is the 8x highlight. And we've already purchased this a while back. And when we used it on set, I didn't like the aesthetic of it. But one of our colleagues was like, I recommend it. You should try it out if you're going to be shooting outdoors. And so we gave it a shot to play with it some more, see what it's doing. As you can see, Josh, when he walks into the sun, those hard shadows disperse. They get diffused and they're soft, super soft. But the difference in this versus that silk that we just had up is that the highlights on his skin are relatively the same. Sure, they come down, but very, very, very little. Highlight. It's almost like a... Whoa! I got it. Save the fence. Well, I caught that one on camera. Oh, I see what happened.
This wasn't highlight to the low.
No, it's on the highlight.
But the leg folded.
Yes. Well, that just happened. Yeah, as I've said before, when you put these things up, they're like sails. And so you definitely need to bag them well. And what happened was, I keep my backyard pretty moist because I'm watering it all the time in our hot climate. And it started to sink in. And then as it sunk in, it folded. And as it folded, it started to fall. Now, as you were seeing, I luckily caught it before it hit the fence, my neighbor's fence and my fence, and kind of saved the day. And we just double bagged that thing until we were done. I'm giving a little demo here of my 300 watt Godox no LED light because I'm trying to sell it. I was trying to sell it to somebody on Facebook Marketplace who ended up flaking on me. But the reason why I put it in the vlog is because you remember I got that Aperture 600X. They never came back for it, and the seller never said anything, so I got to keep it. So now I'm just trying to sell off a light to see if I can make up some of the balance of that. So if you're interested, it's still on sale, and I have it on eBay, and I'll put the link to it in the description if it's still available. We got a production today, and bringing her out to match up with that little beast over there. So yeah, we're ready to go. We're gonna do a commercial today. So this is production day 1 of the free commercial that we're doing. The client here is one of our colleagues in the industry here in Bakersfield. Now, he's more of a photography studio, but he also does video as well. And he commented on our post so that this way he can get a promotional commercial done for himself for free. And we were like, cool, let's do it. And it's for his rental side of the business. So he has a bunch of Canon cameras and lenses and wanted to do a promo for that. So we were like, great. So that's what we were doing pre-production for the other day. And that's what we are shooting here in this day. That we were about to do, and then we remembered, is we need to take a picture of the space so that we can put everything back the way it was. So right now we're going to take a picture real quick. As you can see Josh right there taking a picture. And that will allow us to put everything back the way it was. So we leave it better than when we came. So that's what we're going to do. So keep in mind that the reason why we are doing all of these low cost or free commercials is so that we have something that we can add to our portfolio so that when we do approach a client, it's not like, hey, trust me, I can do this, but rather it's, look at our portfolio. We know what we're doing. This is what we have produced. And if you would like something like that, we can really help you out. And then we could ask a wage, we can ask for pay that we know we deserve. The other thing is that, as we encounter problems on set, we can write that down in our like debriefs that we do after we shoot every time. We can write that down so that this way we can address it in pre-production and not have to deal with it on set. And inevitably that happens. It happens where it's like, okay, we didn't expect for this to happen. So how do we deal with that next time? Other things are like, how can we be faster on set so we don't take up so much time? There is that element of, I need time to set up. And that's just the bottom line. Hence why we're doing 2 days here. This one, we're doing this scene and the kind of the gear scene, the rental closet scene. And then the next day, we're going to do the portion where the photographer actually goes out with their model and they're actually doing a shoot. And that's kind of the story behind the commercial. They come in, they rent a lens, they go out, and they have fun shooting their client. Their client's having a good time, and it's all good because you rented from this company. And right there, as you saw, our client was looking at the monitor, partially because he does video as well. So, he's looking at the frame. But also, I had to record it because I was like, finally, a client is actually looking at the monitor. And they do. But rarely do they always just kind of sit there and look. They'll look at it for a while, and then they'll, especially in these other shoots where we're at schools and stuff and we're walking around, they end up going away from the monitor. So now we're in the gear room, and we just want to get some cascading motion shots of what's on the shelves in the gear room, just to kind of be like, hey, this is what we have to offer. And then it's just a quick couple of shots, quick short sequence of gear shots, and then we go right into the room where the transaction goes down, and then right out into the field where all the real action is going down. Because it's, in other words, it's kind of like telling a story of, we have this available, we're going to make life easier for you when you come and rent with us, and then we're spending most of the time watching the photographer enjoy her shoot, watching the model enjoy getting shot with this cool camera and this cool lens, and everything is great, fine, sunshine, rainbows, all that good stuff. So yeah, we're just getting these quick shots, and then we're on to the next one. Now, this is what I call a behind-the-scenes video guy. That's right. And as you may have seen there, the legendary Augie is helping us out this day. So it's Josh, me, and Augie are knocking this stuff out. And those two cameras, or those two phones that I had, were Josh and Augie's. And I'm over here shooting myself on them. So anyway, that's another shoot day wrapping up. In the next vlog, I will talk about the second day of production. I'll see you then.